Lesson 1: The Allure of Waterfalls.
Hey Anna, I just got back from a trip to a national park, and most of the tourists there come to see the waterfalls.
That sounds incredible. Waterfalls are so beautiful and mesmerizing. Which waterfall did you visit?
I went to Yosemite Falls. It's one of the tallest waterfalls in North America, and the views were breathtaking.
Yosemite Falls is stunning. I've seen pictures, but I can only imagine how magnificent it must be in person. Did you hike to the top?
Yes, I did. The trail was challenging, but reaching the top was worth it. The sound of the water cascading down was so soothing.
That must have been such a rewarding experience. I love the sound of flowing water, it's so calming. How long did the hike take you?
It took about 3 hours to reach the top, and we took plenty of breaks to enjoy the scenery. The views from up there were spectacular.
I can imagine. Were there many other hikers on the trail?
Yes, there were quite a few. It's popular, especially during the summer months. Everyone was excited to see the falls.
That's great. It's nice to share the experience with other nature lovers. Did you meet any interesting people along the way?
I did. I met a family who travels to different national parks each summer. They shared some tips about other waterfalls to visit.
That sounds fun. There are so many beautiful waterfalls across the country. Do you have any particular ones on your list to visit next?
I'd love to see Niagara Falls someday. The sheer size and power of it are fascinating. Have you been there?
Yes, I went a few years ago. The mist from the falls is refreshing, and the view is absolutely breathtaking. You can even take a boat tour to get closer.
That sounds amazing. I'd love to experience that. Were there any activities you enjoyed while you were there?
Besides the boat tour, I enjoyed walking along the scenic paths and taking photos. The colors of the rainbows created by the mist are stunning.
That sounds like a photographer's dream. I love capturing nature's beauty. Did you have a favorite photo from your trip?
Yes, I took a shot of the falls with a rainbow in the background. It's one of my favorite memories from that trip.
I bet it's a beautiful photo. Nature has a way of creating such magical moments. What do you think makes waterfalls so appealing to tourists?
I think it's the combination of beauty, power, and tranquility. They represent nature's raw energy, and people are drawn to that.
I completely agree. Plus, they often create stunning landscapes that make for great hiking and photography opportunities.
Exactly. Waterfalls can also be a symbol of adventure and exploration, encouraging people to connect with nature.
That's a lovely perspective. I think we all need that connection, especially in our busy lives. Do you have any other favorite outdoor activities?
Lesson 2: Strengthening your arguments.
Hey Anna, I was reviewing my essay, and I feel like I could add more supporting evidence to strengthen my arguments.
That's a great idea. Having solid evidence makes your points more convincing. Can you give me an example of the argument you're working on?
Sure. I'm discussing the impact of social media on communication. I mentioned that it helps people connect, but I need more facts.
That's an interesting topic. You could include statistics about how many people use social media daily.
Exactly. I read that over 3 billion people use social media worldwide. That's a powerful statistic.
It really is. You might also want to explore how social media has changed relationships, both positively and negatively.
Good point. I could discuss the benefits of staying connected with friends and family versus the risks of online misunderstandings.
Yes, including both sides makes your argument more balanced. Have you thought about adding expert opinions?
I haven't yet. Do you think that would help?
Absolutely. Citing experts can lend credibility to your claims. For example, you could quote a psychologist on the effects of social media on mental health.
That's a great suggestion. I'll look for some articles or studies to support my points. What about personal anecdotes?
Personal stories can be very effective. They make the topic relatable and can illustrate your argument vividly.
I like that idea. I could share my own experiences with social media and how it has helped me stay in touch with friends abroad.
That would add a personal touch. Just make sure it ties back to your main argument.
Of course. It's important to stay focused. Are there any other types of evidence I should consider?
You might also want to include case studies or real-life examples. For instance, how social media campaigns have mobilized communities for social causes.
That's a compelling angle. I could discuss movements like #MeToo or climate change activism on social media.
Exactly. Those examples show the power of social media in driving change and awareness.
I can see how incorporating different types of evidence will make my essay more persuasive.
Definitely. It will help your readers understand the depth of the issue and see it from various perspectives.
I appreciate your insights. I'll revise my essay and make sure to include these elements.
I'm glad to help. Just remember to organize your evidence logically to build a strong case.
That's a great tip. I'll work on the structure as well. Thanks for your support.
Lesson 3: Fascinating Wildlife.
Hey Anna, I was watching a documentary about wildlife, and I learned that polar bears are fascinating creatures.
They really are. I was surprised to find out that polar bears can weigh over 1,500 pounds. That's enormous.
Absolutely. But the bears were even larger than these cats I saw at the zoo. It's incredible how massive they can get.
Yes, and their bright white fur helps them blend into the Arctic environment. It's perfect for hunting seals.
Right. Their camouflage is impressive. I also learned that their fur isn't actually white, it's transparent and reflects light.
That's a cool fact. It's amazing how nature adapts animals to their surroundings. Have you seen any polar bears in person?
I haven't, but I'd love to visit a wildlife reserve. Seeing them in their natural habitat must be breathtaking.
I agree. I think the best way to appreciate their beauty is in the wild. Have you ever been to a national park?
Yes, I visited Yellowstone last year. The landscapes were stunning, and I saw some bison roaming around.
That sounds incredible. Bison are such majestic animals. Did you get to see any other wildlife?
I saw some elk and even a few bald eagles. It was a great experience to witness them in their natural environment.
It must have been exciting. National parks are perfect for observing wildlife and enjoying nature.
Definitely. I love how they protect habitats for various species. Have you been to any national parks?
I visited Yosemite a couple of years ago. The giant sequoias were awe-inspiring, and I hiked to some breathtaking viewpoints.
Yosemite is famous for its stunning scenery. Did you see any wildlife there?
Yes, I saw deer and even a couple of black bears from a distance. It was thrilling, but also a bit nerve-wracking.
I can imagine. It's important to respect their space. Did you learn anything interesting about bears during your visit?
I did. I learned that black bears can climb trees easily to escape danger, while polar bears are more suited to icy environments.
That's fascinating. It's interesting how different species have adapted to their unique habitats.
Exactly. Each animal has its own set of skills that help it survive. Have you thought about visiting any other parks?
I'd love to explore Glacier National Park next. I've heard the views are absolutely stunning, especially with the mountains and lakes.
Glacier is beautiful. It's known for its hiking trails and diverse wildlife. You might even spot some mountain goats.
That would be amazing. I'll have to plan a trip there soon. I enjoy learning about different ecosystems and the animals that live in them.
Lesson 4: Dining Out Experiences.
Hey Anna, I recently went out to eat at a new restaurant, and I found the whole experience quite interesting.
That sounds exciting. What kind of restaurant was it?
It was an Italian place. The ambience was lovely, with soft music and cozy lighting. It set a nice mood for dinner.
Italian food is always a good choice. Did you try any special dishes?
Yes, I had a delicious seafood pasta with a creamy sauce. It was rich and flavorful. What about you? Do you have a favorite cuisine?
I love Thai food. The balance of flavors, sweet, spicy, and sour, always excites my taste buds.
Thai food is fantastic. Have you ever been to a Thai restaurant where they bring you a spice level menu?
Yes, I have. I like to challenge myself with the spicier dishes, but I have to be careful not to overdo it.
That's smart. It's all about finding the right balance. So, when you're finished eating, how do you usually handle the bill?
Typically, when I'm finished eating, the waiter brings the bill, or check, as some people call it. Then I pay for the meal and leave a tip for good service.
Exactly. I think leaving a tip is a nice gesture. It shows appreciation for the service. What percentage do you usually leave?
I usually leave around 15 to 20% of the total bill. It depends on the service quality. If it's exceptional, I might even tip more.
That's reasonable. I've noticed that tipping customs can vary from place to place. Have you seen any surprising tipping practices while traveling?
Yes. In some countries, tipping isn't common at all, while in others, it's expected. In Japan, for example, tipping can be seen as rude.
That's interesting. It's important to know the local customs to avoid any misunderstandings. Did you encounter any such situations?
I did. When I visited Japan, I was unsure about how to handle the bill. Luckily, my friend explained the customs beforehand.
That's great. It's always helpful to have someone who knows the culture. Have you ever had a memorable dining experience?
Yes, once I had dinner at a rooftop restaurant overlooking the city skyline. The view was breathtaking, and the food was exquisite.
That sounds magical. The combination of great food and a stunning view can make a meal unforgettable. What did you order?
I had grilled salmon with asparagus and a glass of white wine. It was a perfect pairing. What about you? Any memorable meals?
Definitely. I once had a surprise dinner party with friends. They cooked my favorite dishes, and we had a wonderful time together.
That sounds lovely. Sharing meals with friends can create the best memories. Did you have a special dessert to celebrate?
Yes, they made a chocolate cake, which is my favorite. It was the perfect ending to a fantastic evening.
Lesson 5: Understanding Animal Diseases.
Hey Anna, I was reading an article about animal diseases, and it's alarming how some can be so deadly.
That sounds interesting. Which disease were they discussing?
They mentioned a specific disease that usually kills animals quickly, but before dying, they often show strange behaviors.
That's unsettling. Animals can be so vulnerable to diseases. What kind of strange behaviors did they describe?
They talked about animals acting disoriented or aggressive, which can be quite shocking to observe.
Wow, that must be difficult for anyone who witnesses it. What causes these diseases in animals?
Various factors can contribute, such as viruses, bacteria, and even parasites. Stress and environmental changes can also play a role.
It's fascinating how interconnected everything is. Have you learned about any specific diseases affecting wildlife?
Yes, I read about a disease called chronic wasting disease, which affects deer and elk. It's similar to mad cow disease in cattle.
That's concerning. How does it spread among animals?
It spreads through direct contact with infected animals or contaminated environments. It can have devastating effects on populations.
I can imagine. Are there any efforts to control or prevent the spread of such diseases?
Yes, wildlife agencies often monitor populations and implement regulations, like hunting restrictions, to help manage the disease.
That's a smart approach. It's essential to protect both the animals and their ecosystems.
Exactly. Public awareness is also crucial. Educating people about these diseases can help prevent further spread.
Definitely. I think people should be informed about the signs of illnesses in wildlife. That way, they can report anything unusual.
That's a great idea. It could save many animals if people are vigilant. Have you ever seen any sick animals in the wild?
I haven't, but I've heard stories from friends who have. They saw a bird that appeared lethargic and unresponsive.
That sounds concerning. It's important to know what to do in such situations. Sometimes, contacting a wildlife rescue organization is best.
Lesson 6: The Thrills of Hockey.
Hey Anna, I was watching an NHL game last night, and I can't help but think it continues to be the most successful and entertaining hockey league in North America.
Absolutely. The energy in the arenas is electric, and the skill level of the players is incredible. What game were you watching?
It was a match between the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Montreal Canadiens. The rivalry is intense, and the atmosphere was amazing.
Those two teams have such a rich history. It's always exciting when they face off. Did you enjoy the gameplay?
Definitely. The pace was fast, and there were some stunning goals. The players really know how to put on a show.
I love how they combine skill, speed, and strategy. Have you ever played hockey yourself?
I played recreationally when I was younger, but I wasn't very good. It's much harder than it looks.
I can imagine. Ice skating alone takes a lot of practice. I've tried it, and I spent more time falling than skating.
Same here. But it's so much fun once you get the hang of it. Did you have a favorite NHL team growing up?
Yes, I was a big fan of the Chicago Blackhawks. Their style of play always impressed me, especially during their championship runs.
They were dominant for a while. I admired their teamwork and how they executed plays. It's inspiring to watch.
For sure. It's interesting how team dynamics can change each season. Some teams surprise everyone with their performance.
Absolutely. Last season, the Colorado Avalanche had an incredible run. It's exciting to see underdog teams rise to the challenge.
Yes, and the playoffs are always full of surprises. The intensity and pressure can lead to unexpected outcomes.
I love the playoff atmosphere. The games become even more thrilling when the stakes are high. Do you watch every playoff game?
I try to. It's hard to miss the excitement, especially when overtime is involved. Those moments can be heart-stopping.
I know. Some of the best hockey moments happen in overtime. The tension is palpable, and every shot counts.
Exactly. And the celebrations after a winning goal are unforgettable. The players and fans share such joy and relief.
It really brings everyone together. Speaking of fans, I think the NHL has some of the most passionate supporters.
Definitely. Fans create a unique atmosphere, whether at home games or watching together in bars and restaurants.
Have you ever attended a live NHL game?
Yes, I went to a Blackhawks game a couple of years ago. It was an incredible experience to be there in person.
I can imagine. The crowd, the sounds of the game, and the excitement must be exhilarating.
Lesson 7: The Art of Photography.
Hey Anna, I've been getting into photography lately, and it's fascinating how much there is to learn.
That's awesome. Photography can be such a creative outlet. What aspect are you focusing on?
I'm trying to understand stabilization and autofocus. Those features are important for capturing sharp images.
Absolutely. Stabilization helps reduce blur from camera shake. Have you tried using a tripod?
Yes, I have. It makes a huge difference, especially for long exposures. I was amazed at how clear the night sky photos turned out.
Night photography is beautiful. What kind of settings do you use for those shots?
I usually set a longer exposure time and a higher ISO. It helps to capture more light. What about you? Do you have any favorite photography techniques?
I enjoy portrait photography. I love playing with depth of field to blur the background and make the subject stand out.
That's a great technique. Using a wide aperture can really create that effect. Do you have a specific lens for portraits?
Yes, I use a 50mm lens. It's perfect for portraits and gives a nice bokeh effect. What lens do you prefer for landscape shots?
I usually go for a wide angle lens. It captures more of the scene, which is great for landscapes. Have you ever tried landscape photography?
I have. I love capturing mountains and lakes. The challenge is to find the right composition.
Composition is key. I often use the rule of thirds to create more balanced images. Do you use any specific guidelines?
Yes, I also follow the rule of thirds. Additionally, I try to lead the viewer's eye with lines or natural frames in the scene.
That's a fantastic approach. It really draws attention to the main subject. Have you experimented with editing your photos?
Definitely. Post-processing can enhance images significantly. I use software to adjust brightness and contrast, and sometimes I play with colors.
Editing can really bring a photo to life. I like to experiment with filters as well. Do you have a favorite editing tool?
I primarily use Lightroom. It's user-friendly and has powerful features for both beginners and professionals.
I've heard good things about Lightroom. I might give it a try. What advice would you give to someone just starting in photography?
Practice is essential. Experiment with different settings and subjects. Don't be afraid to make mistakes, they help you learn.
Great advice. I'll remember that. I also think joining a photography group could provide valuable feedback and inspiration.
Absolutely. Sharing your work with others can boost your confidence and spark new ideas. Have you looked into any local photography clubs?
Yes, I found a couple of clubs that meet regularly. I'm excited to connect with other photographers and learn from them.
Lesson 8: Stylish Hair Ideas.
Hey Anna, I was thinking about hairstyles for an event, and I came across the idea of a braided updo. It's elegant and easy to do at home.
That sounds lovely. Braided updos are versatile and can suit many occasions. Have you tried doing one before?
I haven't, but I watched some tutorials online. They make it look so simple. I love how you can customize the look with different types of braids.
Exactly. You can mix in fishtail braids, Dutch braids, or even rope braids to create a unique style. Do you have a specific braid in mind?
I'm leaning towards a Dutch braid. It looks so neat and structured. Plus, it seems to hold well throughout the day.
Great choice. Dutch braids are perfect for adding volume. You can also pull at the sides to create a more relaxed, bohemian look.
That's a good tip. I like the idea of making it a bit looser. It feels more casual yet still polished. Have you ever done a braided updo for a special event?
Yes, I wore one to a wedding last summer. I added some decorative pins to give it a touch of glam. It was a hit.
That sounds beautiful. Accessories can really elevate a hairstyle. What kind of pins did you use?
I used some floral hairpins. They added a nice pop of color without being too overwhelming. It complemented my dress perfectly.
I love that idea. I might look for some similar accessories. Do you think a braided updo would work for a more formal event, like a gala?
Absolutely. A sleek braided updo can look very sophisticated. Pairing it with statement earrings would complete the look beautifully.
That's a great suggestion. I'll have to plan my outfit around the hairstyle. What do you think about hair products for keeping the style in place?
Using a good hairspray is essential. It helps hold the braid without making it stiff. A lightweight mousse can also add volume.
I'll keep that in mind. It's amazing how the right products can make such a difference. Do you have a favorite brand?
I like using products from a brand called OUAI. They have great options for styling and finishing. What about you?
I've heard good things about that brand. I usually stick to a basic hairspray, but I'm open to trying something new.
Experimenting with different products can help you find what works best for your hair type. It's all about trial and error.
That's true. I'm excited to give the braided updo a try. Maybe I'll even practice before the event to feel more confident.
Definitely. Practicing a few times will help you get the technique down. Plus, it's fun to try new styles.
I can't wait. I'll let you know how it turns out. It's nice to have a stylish option that's also easy to do at home.
For sure. And don't hesitate to ask if you need any more tips or ideas. I'm always happy to help with hair inspiration.
Thanks, Anna. I appreciate it. I'm looking forward to showing off my new hairstyle.
Lesson 9, Exploring Healthcare.
Hey Anna, I've been thinking a lot about healthcare lately. It's such an important topic.
Absolutely. What specifically interests you about healthcare?
I'm fascinated by how healthcare systems operate and the ways they can improve patient outcomes.
That's a great perspective. I find the advancements in technology, like telemedicine, really interesting. It's changing how we access care.
Yes, telemedicine has made it easier for people to see doctors without traveling long distances. Have you ever used it?
I have. It was convenient when I needed a consultation for a minor issue. I could speak to a doctor from the comfort of my home.
That's a huge benefit. I also think preventive care is crucial. Educating people about healthy habits can reduce the need for more serious treatments later on.
I completely agree. Regular checkups and screenings can catch problems early. What do you think are the biggest challenges in healthcare today?
One major challenge is access. Not everyone has the same level of access to quality care, which can lead to disparities in health outcomes.
That's a significant issue. I believe addressing those disparities is essential for creating a fair healthcare system.
Definitely. Additionally, the rising costs of healthcare make it difficult for many people to afford necessary treatments.
Yes, healthcare affordability is a critical concern. It's frustrating to see people avoid seeking help due to cost.
It really is. I think policy changes are needed to make healthcare more accessible and affordable for everyone.
That's true. Public health initiatives can also play a role in promoting healthy lifestyles and reducing healthcare costs in the long run.
Right. Community programs that focus on nutrition and exercise can have a positive impact. Have you seen any successful programs in your area?
Yes, there's a local initiative that offers free fitness classes and workshops on healthy eating. It's encouraging people to take charge of their health.
That sounds amazing. Community support can make a big difference in motivating individuals to lead healthier lives.
I think so too. It's inspiring to see people come together to improve their well-being. What are your thoughts on mental health care?
Mental health is just as important as physical health. I appreciate that there's more awareness now about mental health issues and the need for support.
Absolutely. Breaking the stigma around mental health encourages more people to seek help when they need it.
Exactly. Access to mental health services is crucial, especially in schools and workplaces. It can really help people cope with stress and challenges.
I agree. Implementing mental health programs in schools can teach children about emotional well-being from a young age.
That's a great idea. Early education can create a foundation for healthier coping mechanisms in the future.